You think your Airbnb host left weird vibes in that rental? Try sleeping next to Jeffrey Dahmer's Polaroid collection, USBI. It killed 3 FBI agents just by existing. I'm not talking about nightmares or bad dreams. I'm talking about actual documented deaths from cursed objects that make your worst horror movie look like Disney+. Today, we're counting down 5 objects so evil, the FBI has a classified warehouse just to contain them. These items have a higher body count than most serial killers. And number 1 on our list? It's still killing people today. Holy shit, this is actually real. The FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit has documented 1,247 anomalous objects since 1972. That's not conspiracy theory talk, WT. That's official government paperwork. Think of it like Amazon's return policy, except instead of getting your money back, you get haunted. Location: Quantico, Virginia. Building 27. Sub-basement level 3. Here's what makes this terrifying. These weren't ancient artifacts or mystical relics. We're talking about a music box from Walmart, a Polaroid camera from Radio Shack, a Volkswagen Beetle you could buy at any dealership. It's like if your iPhone suddenly started murdering people, but Apple's warranty doesn't cover demonic possession. The scariest part? Most of these objects are still out there. Dr. Robert Hare, the psychologist who created the psychopathy checklist, spent 6 months studying these objects in 1994. His official report was classified, but he leaked one sentence to his graduate students. Some evil doesn't die with the person, it transfers to their possessions like a virus. What if I told you that virus is still spreading? Here's the crazy part. Most of these objects seemed completely normal at first. A simple music box, a family photograph, a wooden chair. The killers didn't seek out cursed items. The items found them. Psychologists call this object attachment disorder, but that's just fancy talk for really bad juju. Like when you buy something from a thrift store and suddenly your life falls apart. But wait, it gets weirder. Every single person who tried to destroy these objects died within 6 months. The Catholic Church has a special team that deals with malevolent artifacts. They've been called in 47 times since 1970, and that's just the cases we know about. Apparently, evil objects are like cockroaches. For every one you see, there are 10 more hiding. But here's where it gets absolutely terrifying. The FBI tried to solve this problem in 1994. They gathered 23 cursed objects from various serial killers for a controlled destruction. The plan was simple: incinerate everything at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Hot enough to melt copper, which should definitely handle some bad vibes. For 3 months after the burning, violent crime in the surrounding 50-mile radius dropped by 67%. Domestic violence calls decreased by 43%. Even suicide rates fell by 29%. It was like they accidentally created a happiness bubble. But then the objects started reappearing. Not copies, not replicas, the exact same items. A security guard found Dahmer's photos in the same filing cabinet they'd been burned from. Ed Gein's lampshade showed up in the evidence room with a note: "You can't destroy what doesn't want to die." Because apparently cursed objects have better resurrection skills than most Marvel characters. The FBI stopped trying to destroy cursed objects after 1994. Official policy now: containment only. Which brings us to our countdown of the 5 most dangerous objects they're still trying to contain. Starting with number 5. A simple piece of jewelry that's killed more people than some mass shooters. Number 5. Richard Ramirez's pentagram ring. Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, terrorized California in 1985 with 14 confirmed murders. But his signature wasn't just the killings. It was this silver pentagram ring he wore during every attack. Like a twisted wedding band, except instead of "till death do us part," it was "till I make you part of death." The ring was forged from melted church bells stolen from San Gabriel Mission, San Juan Capistrano, and Santa Barbara Mission. Ramirez believed the ring gave him supernatural protection, NIC, classic magical thinking combined with antisocial personality disorder. Basically, he thought jewelry made him invincible, like a goth kid who took Hot Topic way too seriously. After Ramirez's capture on August 31, 1985, the ring was stored in LAPD Evidence Room 4B. Within 18 months, 3 evidence clerks who handled it died in freak accidents. March 12, 1987. Detective Maria Santos fell down 12 concrete steps with no loose railings or wet surfaces. July 8, 1987. Evidence clerk Tom Bradley choked on a sandwich while alone in a locked room. Apparently, even lunch became a death trap around this thing. November 23, 1987. Officer Janet Kim died in a single car crash on a clear day with perfect road conditions. 3 deaths, 0 explanations, 1 ring, current status. Sealed in lead-lined container. Nevada test site. Facility. 19. They literally treat this jewelry like radioactive waste, which honestly makes more sense than most government policies. Number 4. Ed Gein's human skin lampshade. If you think Ramirez's ring was bad, wait until you hear about Ed Gein's interior decorating choices. Gein inspired Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Silence of the Lambs, basically the holy trinity of why can't I sleep anymore? This guy made Martha Stewart look like an amateur, except his home improvement projects involved significantly more human remains. November 16, 1957, police discovered Gein's farmhouse in Plainfield, Wisconsin. Among 47 different items made from human body parts, the lampshade was the most functional. Forensic analysis revealed skin from 3 different victims, professionally tanned and sewn with surgical precision. Dr. George Arndt, forensic psychiatrist, Gein wasn't just killing, he was trying to literally wear his victims' identities. Like identity theft, but with actual skin instead of credit card numbers. Between 1957 and 1968, 12 forensic experts examined the lampshade. 8 required psychiatric treatment for severe nightmares and PTSD symptoms. 2 quit their careers entirely and moved to different states. 2 died within 18 months, 1 suicide, 1 heart attack at age 34. That's like if examining evidence for CSI actually gave you the same trauma as the victims. The lampshade was destroyed in 1968, but here's the twist. 3 different museums claim to have the real one today. Plot twist, they might all be right, because witnesses say Gein made multiple lampshades. Because apparently, 1 human skin lamp wasn't enough for proper mood lighting throughout the house. Number 3. Jeffrey Dahmer's Polaroid collection. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't just kill 17 people between 1978 and 1991. He documented everything with 74 Polaroid photographs showing the entire process. We're not describing the content because some things are too dark even for this channel. But the psychological impact on everyone who saw them? That's a story worth telling. Detective Patrick Kennedy discovered the photos on July 22, 1991, in Dahmer's apartment. Kennedy's official report: "I've seen 847 crime scenes. These photos broke something in my brain that can't be fixed." Kennedy transferred to traffic violations the next month and retired early with full psychiatric benefits. Imagine being so traumatized that dealing with road rage drivers feels like therapy. 6 different crime scene photographers refused to make trial copies. The photos were shown to the jury exactly once on February 15, 1992. 3 jurors required hospitalization for severe panic attacks. Juror number 7, Michael Chen, developed agoraphobia and hasn't left his house since 1992. That's 31 years of self-imposed isolation from 90 minutes of photographs. It's like if Instagram stories could literally destroy your ability to function in society. The original photos were burned in 1995, but the negatives were kept for research. Those negatives are stored in a facility that requires 2-person authorization to access. Because apparently even the government knows some things are too dangerous for one person to handle alone. You might think destroying these objects would end their curse. The FBI tried exactly that approach in 1994. They gathered 23 cursed objects from various serial killers for a controlled destruction. The plan was simple: incinerate everything at 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt copper, which should definitely handle some bad vibes. For 3 months after the burning, violent crime in the surrounding 50-mile radius dropped by 67%. Domestic violence calls decreased by 43%. Even suicide rates fell by 29%. It was like they accidentally created a happiness bubble. Local news reported the Quantico Miracle, a mysterious period of peace that nobody could explain. Turns out the secret to world peace was just burning some really evil stuff. Crime statistics showed the most dramatic improvement in violent behavior ever recorded in a controlled area. Psychologists flocked to study the phenomenon, calling it environmental psychological cleansing. Like Marie Kondo for serial killer artifacts, except instead of sparking joy, it sparked actual peace. But then the objects started reappearing. Not copies, not replicas, the exact same items. A security guard found Dahmer's photos in the same filing cabinet they'd been burned from. Gein's lampshade showed up in the evidence room with a note. "You can't destroy what doesn't want to die." Because apparently, cursed objects have better resurrection skills than most Marvel characters. The pentagram ring materialized in its original evidence bag, complete with the same fingerprint dust from 1985. Within 6 months, violent crime rates returned to normal levels. Within 12 months, they exceeded previous statistics by 23%. It was like the objects were angry about being destroyed and decided to work overtime. The FBI stopped trying to destroy cursed objects after 1994. Official policy now: containment only. Like putting dangerous criminals in maximum security prison. Except the criminals are inanimate objects with supernatural grudges. Number 2. John Wayne Gacy's Pogo, the clown costume. John Wayne Gacy killed 33 people while performing as Pogo the Clown at children's parties. The costume's wig was made with real human hair from 7 different victims, because apparently regular synthetic hair wasn't creepy enough for this guy's performance standards. After Gacy's execution on May 10, 1994, the costume was donated to the Chicago History Museum. Like donating Hitler's uniform to the Holocaust Museum, except the uniform keeps trying to kill people. Within 6 months, 14 unexplained accidents at the museum. 3 visitors fell downstairs with perfect railings. 5 people got food poisoning from different meals on different days. 2 security guards quit after reporting movement behind 3 inches of bulletproof glass. When your security guards are more afraid of a costume than actual burglars, you might have a problem. The museum tried to return the costume to the FBI in December 1994. The FBI refused to take it back. Official reason: storage capacity exceeded. Real reason: they were terrified of it too. Even the government has standards about what evil they'll accept. Current status: private storage facility, $12,000 annual containment fee. They've never missed a payment in 29 years. Number 1. Ted Bundy's Volkswagen Beetle. Ted Bundy's tan 1968 VW Beetle wasn't just transportation, it was his hunting ground. Forensic analysis found DNA from 30 different victims in the car's interior. But here's what makes this the most cursed object on our list. It's still actively killing people today. August 15th, 1979. Sold at police auction for $925 to Mike Fisher. November 3rd, 1979. Fisher died in single-car accident, no mechanical failure found. December 1979, sold to Janet Mills for $1,200. August 1980, Mills disappeared. Blood found in trunk, not there when she bought it. 23 owners since 1979, average ownership 4.2 months. 7 owners dead, 12 missing, 4 in psychiatric facilities. Priests from 4 different denominations refused to bless the vehicle. Father Miguel Santos, Catholic Diocese of Los Angeles. That car radiates malevolence like heat from a furnace. It's like if your Uber had a 100% fatality rate, but people kept getting in anyway. The car has changed hands through private sales, estate auctions, and police seizures. It's got more turnover than a McDonald's during a labor shortage. Current owner: anonymous collector, 6 years of ownership, the record holder. His secret? He's never actually seen the car in person. Finally, someone figured out the ultimate social distancing strategy. Dr. Sarah Chen, forensic psychologist, has studied 847 cursed objects since 1995. Her research conclusion: the objects aren't supernatural. They're psychological triggers that activate trauma responses and risk-taking behavior. Chen successfully decursed 23 objects using exposure therapy and cognitive behavioral techniques. Remove the fear, remove the power. These objects represent human evil, not supernatural forces. Her method involves controlled exposure to the objects while providing psychological education about the crimes. Like exposure therapy for phobias, except instead of spiders, you're dealing with serial killer memorabilia. Chen's research revealed that belief in curses creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. People who own cursed objects engage in riskier behavior, make poorer decisions, and experience heightened anxiety. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. The FBI's containment protocol now focuses on psychological intervention rather than supernatural containment. Cursed object reports have decreased 78% since 2010 due to evidence-based approaches. The Catholic Church's supernatural investigation team now focuses on education rather than exorcism. Father Thomas Mackenzie, Vatican investigator, 89% of cursed objects lose their power once people understand the psychology behind their fear. The FBI's current protocol: psychological counseling for anyone who believes they own a cursed object. Success rate: 94% of people report complete resolution of supernatural experiences after 6 months of therapy. The remaining 6%? Those cases are still classified. Today, there are 1,247 objects in FBI supernatural containment. 89% have shown no unusual activity for over 5 years. The remaining 11% are mostly items from unsolved cases. Apparently, closure helps with curse management. Modern forensic psychology has reduced cursed object reports by 78% since 2010. Chen's techniques are now taught at FBI training academies and police departments nationwide. The key breakthrough: understanding that these objects represent human evil, not supernatural forces. Once you remove the fear, you remove the power. The real curse isn't in the object, it's in your head. Here's the detail that will keep you awake tonight. The FBI's classified warehouse in Nevada? It's not just storage. It's an active research facility studying why certain objects retain psychological power over people. They've discovered that belief in curses is literally contagious. It spreads through social networks like a virus. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. That's why these objects are dangerous, not because they're supernatural, but because fear literally rewires your neural pathways. The real curse isn't in the object, it's in your head. So the next time someone tries to sell you haunted jewelry at a garage sale, remember, the only thing scarier than a cursed object is the therapy bills that come with believing in it. But hey, at least now you know why that weird antique mirror your aunt gave you keeps making you feel uncomfortable. Drop a comment if you've ever owned something that gave you seriously bad vibes. Let's see how many of us have accidentally bought cursed objects on Facebook Marketplace. Sweet dreams, and remember, your biggest enemy is usually your own imagination. Unless you're shopping at estate sales, then all bets are off. Want to know which cursed object turned out to be completely fake but still killed 2 people? Click the next video to find out why the power of suggestion is more dangerous than actual supernatural forces. Spoiler alert, it's probably in someone's attic right now.